Hello and welcome to Box Office Culture. I'm your host, Tony Nunes. We are picking off where we left off at our last episode. Our last episode, we intended to tell you all of our favorite things about 2023 and then talk about all of the things we're most looking forward to in 2024. Well, we did the first half of that. Now comes the second half. Okay, we are back, and joining me, as they did in our last episode, we have Misty Blue.
Hello.
And the begrudging co-host of Box Office Culture? No? Okay.
I'm a producer. I'm back, everybody. It's old Lebo Bryson. And I have some news for you, Tony. Missy and I had a meeting off mic, and this is actually going to be our show.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
You're the guest this week.
So we've conducted a mutiny, unfortunately.
Well, okay. Well,
so welcome to the show, everyone. Thanks for tuning in for the second parter of this episode.
I'm happy to join you.
Thanks for having us back.
All right. So today we are talking about our favorite, no, not our favorite things, because we don't know if these are our favorite things yet. We're talking about the things we are most anticipating in 2024 in media. Media meaning film, games, TV, music, you name it. So here we go. We're going to do a lightning round of this too, because I think we talked a long time about our favorite things in 2023 last time, and a whole hour went away. And we're trying to keep these episodes a little tighter. So that's our goal today. So I am going to kick things off with something that I'm looking forward to in 2024, probably most looking forward to, and I've talked about it probably countless times on this podcast, so anybody who is a regular listener is probably like, oh, here we go again. It's Dune Part 2, and this film is coming out the first weekend in March. This is the Part 2 of the Dune trilogy that Denis Villeneuve is making, starring Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya or Zendaya? My kids say
Zendaya.
This. Zendaya. My kids are always grilling me on getting. I think I say Zendaya, and
I feel like that's just one of those things where you wait for someone else to say it. Like if that was me talking about that movie, it'd be like Timothée Chalamet, Florence Pugh.
It's Pug. No,
I like that you picked the two white actors.
Yeah.
The easiest name.
Yes.
Well, I said as soon as I said Timothée Chalamet, I was like, all right, get a woman in there.
I mean,
You did. You got a woman in there.
The white woman.
The cast is amazing on these movies. You have Rebecca Ferguson, who we did talk about in our last episode as well. This time you have Christopher Walken joining the cast.
Mm-hmm.
You have Josh Brolin. You have oh God, help me out.
Zendaya.
Zendaya is in this movie, and she's amazing.
You got Skarsgård is coming back.
Yep.
Austin Butler.
Oh yeah, Austin Butler, newbie this time around.
Florence Pugh is also new for this one.
And I'm a big Florence fan, so I'm excited for that.
I know, we see the posters.
Here's the thing. This movie, the first movie, I think it's my favorite movie I've seen in theaters in probably the last 10 years. Truly. And I mean favorite with like a capital F, because I've watched this movie so many times. So many times. It's become one of those movies like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars that I just put on now as background sometimes, just because I'm like, I love this and I want to watch it over and over again. So suffice to say, I'm very excited for Part 2. And this movie was supposed to come out in November, but it was one of the writers, actors strike casualties. And they said, we're not going to release this movie unless we have, with a cast like that, the full cast available to promote it. And now here we go. And we are definitely showing it here at the United. We're opening it up that first weekend in March.
I love Dune. I watched the TV show, which in itself is messy, but I also love the original movie. I am a huge Dune fan. Like,
Same.
When the new one got released, I reread the book. Like, oh, well, you have to.
It's an incredible series. Yeah. What about you, Lee? You like Dune?
Oh yeah, Dune's fabulous. I'm still reeling. I had no idea that there was a TV show. I didn't know.
It's like up there with like Stargate. Maybe it's behind Stargate a little bit.
Or is that good or bad?
I love
Stargate good? See,
I
like
love
those-
Stargate in those series. Like, I have a fondness for the Sci-Fi Channel days when like all of those shows, like I love Farscape. I love all of those like science fiction shows that are entertaining serialized television, maybe not of the highest quality and with some questionable effects. But I love that stuff, and Dune fell on that.
It definitely does. I think the thing I love the most about it is you can interpret Dune in so many different ways. There's so much philosophy going on visually and verbally that it's fantastic. It's beautiful.
It is.
Honestly, the TV show, though, is weird. There's a lot of time. There's like a big time jump. There's
Sure.
a few. And it just gets really wacky. And you can't take it seriously.
No way. The Dune TV show that I had never heard about gets a little wacky.
I mean, Dune itself is pretty
Yeah.
wacky, but in the best possible way.
Yeah.
I heard the books are pretty dry.
I think the book. I like the book.
I also like.
Was that a
the
joke
books.
about?
It was a joke. That
Oh,
was a
it
joke.
about.
'cause
It's very
about
funny.
Dune.
Yeah.
You caught it right off the bat.
I couldn't come up with any like good rebuttal, and I was like, I don't have a good pun for that.
Oh my god! All right, let's jump to you, Misty. What is your first thing that you're looking forward to?
I'm super looking forward to the third Terrifier movie that is coming out this year. This one is supposed to be Christmas themed, which is a
Really?
huge change. Yeah.
Okay.
Is Terrifier the movie that people were puking because they saw it?
Yes. So I'm not sure if it's going to be your cup of tea, Lee. It is very gory, and it is exceptionally gory.
Ugh.
And there is scat,
Mhm.
which is not for everybody. I'm not a big fan of it, but it works in the film.
Mhm.
Like, it makes a lot of sense. The idea, so the main character is Art. He's a clown. He's kind of the polar opposite of It,
Mhm.
because he doesn't talk. He isn't colorful. He's bald. He has like a tiny little hat. His costume is black and white.
Mm.
One of my favorite things about Art the Clown is that he can use guns. And you don't see that in horror movies, especially slashers.
Yeah.
So the storytelling has always been kind of weird, but it works for the films because you're not really sure. Is Art human? Is he demonic? What is he? And I like that we don't know. Going in through the stories is they've always kind of had like,
Supernatural.
in a sense, yes. I feel like they really honor the history of horror.
Mm.
Like there's a lot of themes from Nightmare on Elm Street where Art has entered a dream.
Sure.
And there's also a lot of like slashers. There's a lot of things that reminisce with Michael Myers.
What's the word for that? Homages?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. It's really good. But it is really, really gory. So if that is like not your cup of tea, it isn't going to work for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely not Lee's cup of
No,
tea
I
from
can't
what
do
I've
that.
experienced going to the movies with him.
No, I can't do movies like that.
Yeah.
I had a pretty bad reaction. I don't know if we talked about this on mic, but we had Mad God months ago when we first started our neighborhood watch. And it was wild because that was one that we almost sold out. Like it was a packed theater. And afterwards I came out and I was looking around and everyone's kind of like nodding to each other like, oh yeah, that was awesome. And I was like, that was hands down one of the worst experiences I've ever had in a cinema. And what are you talking about? Why? I mean, it
was a real visceral hatred
yeah
of the movie. And it's a tough movie. It's meant to be a tough
I don't
movie.
think it's a bad movie. I think the experience is designed to make you uncomfortable in a very specific way that I didn't feel like having that done to me.
Prolonged discomfort.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Lee, what is your first thing that you're looking forward to in 2024?
I am looking forward to 1D&D. 1D&D is last year we enjoyed the 10-year anniversary of D&D 5th edition. Now, since Hasbro has acquired D&D, they've been trying to universalize it, and which is good. Like that's games should be played. Like the more applicable or the more approachable a game is, the better, I think, because that brings more people into the fandom, and D&D has such a storied past and has such rich flavor and legends and mythos that I think it's a great opportunity for more people to be a part of it and to exist within the universe. So they're making a push to, like I said, universalize it. And this kind of coincides. So it's a rules. I won't say overhaul, because 5th edition kind of did that by streamlining everything to make it really player focused on like experiential. It really like opened up. Some people think that it got dumbed down because like that you could really hyper focus your character onto one thing. Like say if I only wanted to be be like an Indiana Jones kind of person, you could really like hone in with classes and subclasses and skills. And now it's kind of like, you want to do a cool thing with the whip, roll a dice. Like, the number one rule in D&D, at least at my table, is the rule of cool. And if it's cool, then we'll find a way to make it happen. All that to say, the rules aren't really getting that much of an overhaul, but it's still going to be player focused and experiential focused. And another thing they're doing is they're expanding their online portfolio, I would say. There is already a website called D&D Beyond, which has like all of these splat books and all of these core books that you can read, and Dungeon Master's Guide and errata. But they're also, one thing that Wizards of the Coast realized during the pandemic is a lot of people play this game online, and having a good piece of software or a good website that people can gather on. Maybe it's got voice capabilities, it's got camera capabilities, but mainly a shared virtual tabletop that people can use and roll dice on and all that kind of stuff. So they're overhauling that kind of experience. So I'm really looking forward to that, because I love the opportunity to play D&D in different, interesting new ways.
That's awesome.
I like your rule.
I took a
cool.
deep breath.
Rule of cool. Rule of cool is
Rule of cool.
that's
Yeah,
a good
I like
one.
that.
That's a good mode of play.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. All right, I'm gonna jump into my number 2.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
This is it's kind of a mixed bag of things, I guess. It's on the music front. I think there's some great music that came out in 2023. I talked a little bit about that in the last episode. But there's some really great new music. Well, hopefully great new music coming from artists that I really love this year. So I'm excited for, it looks like Vampire Weekend is having an album coming out this year. I'm a big Vampire Weekend fan. It's been a while since they put out new music, and the last music that they did put out was fantastic. And I'm hoping with that comes a tour. I've already seen them announced on a couple of music festivals this spring and summer, so there's a really good chance that there's a tour. And I've never seen Vampire Weekend in concert, so I'm pretty excited to hopefully have the opportunity to see them soon. And then another artist who has new music coming out, or a new album in the works that hopefully hits in 2024, is Billie Eilish. And I am a really big Billie Eilish fan. Ironically, my older daughter, who's 16 this week, is the one who kind of introduced me to Billie Eilish. And I took her to see her live a couple years ago, and it was one of the best concerts I've gone to in a very long time. It was an amazing show. And then, I did the deep dive into Billie Eilish, and I think she's like one of the best musicians currently working, because she's doing things completely different in her own lane, and I really love that. So I'm excited what her and her brother are putting together for this year.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
It's interesting to learn about how invested you are in like music.
Mm-hmm.
I've always just like, oh, well, Tony likes film.
He's a film guy.
Tony knows a lot about music.
No, I love music almost as much as I love film. I mean, my Spotify end of the year hour log is usually like 52 days of nonstop music, because I'm always listening to music. It's a huge part of my life, almost bigger than movies. If I had to, somebody asked me this question once. They said, if you had to pick, like, say it was the end of the world, and you were given the option, like, okay, you go into the end of the world with movies or music. What are you picking? Like, you get to bring all your favorite movies or all your favorite music, but the other one dies. I love film, but music wins 100%, because I think music drives my day-to-day life all the time. It's always in the background, and it's always something that's inspired me and gets me moving and thinking creatively. So as much as I love movies, music wins by far. Yeah.
I think I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think you can't put on a movie in your car while you're driving. You shouldn't, Misty. I don't I don't know why I threw that over to you.
Yeah. Wow. Shots fired.
But no, like you can't, put on a movie while you're grocery shopping. But you can put your headphones in and listen to
there's just something
Nora Jones.
Music seems like to me, I think of all the universal languages, you can say what you want about mathematics. Screw that.
Okay.
But the true universal language in my mind is music. I mean, it's honestly, there's a site that I follow on Instagram. It's called Dust to Digital, or oh my God,
We'll find it and we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, and it collects videos every week from around the world of people doing music, and they're not professional musicians, and it's my favorite place to go every week on the internet, because it's very joyous and amazing, but it gives you a real exposure to music that you wouldn't get otherwise. So, music is big, and there's some good stuff coming out in 2024. So excited for that. Misty.
Oh, yes, it's my turn. So I'm actually going to change one of the things I'm going to talk about.
Oh.
So something that I am a huge fan of, and it's been out for about like a little bit more than like 10 years now. It's called Stardew Valley.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, I know Stardew Valley.
One of the greatest games ever made. So Concealed Ape is the creator, and this was supposed to be just a side pet project that turned into
Stardew Valley was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Supposed to be just like a small one-off that he is still coming out with, and there's a new update out on the way, the 1.6 update, and he's been like dropping hints like, oh, you can get a bigger chest and like an actual chest that can hold things. But there's a bunch of things, and he also makes the game mod friendly and plays with mods himself. So I'm a huge fan of his. I am so excited for the new updates of this game.
My wife plays, and we just found out that you can play multiplayer.
Yes.
We had no idea.
Yeah, no, oh my God. There's a couple of us here that play. It's a great game. It's so much fun. You can speedrun it too.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
I've never played, but I love a cozy game. I love resource management, farming stuff, survival stuff.
oh yeah, it's so much fun.
Cozy gaming is so big right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who doesn't love cozy gaming?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever play Unpacking?
No.
I've seen it. I have not personally played, but I do want to.
So stupid.
Is that because I get enough of that when I go to my therapist?
Well, this is like literally you move into a little apartment and you unpack your boxes of things and put them where you want them to go. And then you grow through different stages of life and your house gets bigger. You go to like a college dorm room, and then you get your first apartment, and then you get a house, and then you have kids. And it's literally just a game where every level is you unpacking your stuff. And it's the most zen game you will ever play.
Oh my God.
I'm assuming you play this, Tony.
At first I played it as a joke. I put it on. I was like, this seems stupid. And then I played it. My kids played it. We were all like, this is so amazing.
Came
Cozy.
to 6 hours later.
Cozy gaming. Yeah. I wish they'd release new levels or houses.
Yeah.
I'm a big supporter of cozy games. If I can like sit in bed with my Switch and my cats, I am very that's perfect for me.
It's raining outside.
Oh,
Hot
yeah.
cup of tea.
Oh.
Yeah. Sign me up.
Cozy. Lee, number 2.
Yes. I want to talk about Lord of the Rings. The War of the Rohirrim comes out this year. It's an animated film, and this film is about Helm Hammerhand. He was a king of Rohan. He is what there was the horn of Helm Hammerhand in Helm's Deep that they rang out in the Two Towers. This is Rohan is one of my favorite locations in Lord of the Rings. I love horses. I love the Viking motif, and every single time I watch those films, and the da 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 dun, da da theme plays, I literally just gave myself chills. The other day, I was hanging out at home, doing some extracurricular activities, and I put on I saw a YouTube video that was a music theorist going into why the soundtrack of Lord of the Rings hit so hard, and it was incredible. So I sat down, I closed the door to my bedroom, I jacked up the surround sound, and I just laid down and let this just wash over me. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Death! Oh my God. I probably just
peeked out our mic.
Yeah, sorry everybody at home.
Studio.
But I'm obsessed with Rohan. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing this story told in a new medium. And I think animation, I also was watching something the other day that was kind of going into animation. Like, animation is not a genre. Animation is a medium or an art form. Like, you can see animation films that are horror, that are comedy, that are drama. You'll see it a lot if you come by for our Oscar shorts, our animation Oscar shorts. You'll see all sorts of genres being represented. But I think that I'm very, very excited to see this story told in that way.
Like the shameless plug.
Here at the United Theater.
Hopefully Rings of Power comes back soon too. I don't know what the timing on that returning to Amazon Prime is, but I really love the first season.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the style of animation they go with, because there is the best Lord of the Rings / Hobbit films of all time that was originally animated.
The original animation.
Original animation.
They're great.
It's
I would not
phenomenal.
say they're the best.
They're amazing.
In my opinion, not the best. They're good. They're good.
They opened the door.
Oh, for sure.
So you have to honor them.
Yeah, you do. You're right.
Yeah.
They have their place. I'm curious what the animation is going to look like in this one. I haven't seen anything. There's no trailer. There's no stills that I've seen. Have you seen stills or anything, Lee?
No. The director did Ghost in the Shell. I don't know if that'll...
Oh.
Like the original Ghost in the Shell, or like...
That.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Animation.
That's not the animation I was thinking.
That's definitely not the style I would
animation.
I thought it would be like some kind of 3D animation, personally.
Sola Entertainment did the animation. They did Tower of God, The God of High School, Shenmue the animation, Ninja Kamui.
They did Tower of God.
Yeah, so what does that mean, Misty?
It's some amazing animation.
Yeah?
It's like more anime style.
Yes.
I think that's right.
Interesting. Not what I expected.
I was kind of hoping for like Howl's Moving Castle kind of vibe.
That would be cool.
But Tower of God, like, I'm here for that.
Kenji Kamiyama. He did work on Jinro, Pat Labor, Blood, The Last Vampire, and he's directed Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, Ghost in the Shell, SIC Second Gig, in the Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex Solid State Society.
So some good animation.
I don't know any of that, but I assume it's fabulous. I mean, I know Ghost in the Shell rings is something. Oh, hold on. Working as a background artist for productions such as Akira and Kiki's Delivery Service.
That's an interesting mix right there.
He also directed Blade Runner Black Lotus, which was an anime for Adult Swim and Crunchyroll. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I'm not reading this off of anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, you're just
tapping into your
I just have that
of things you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. After I said I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's slated to be an incredible thing. So I'm looking forward to that. But Tony, what's your last one?
My last one is another movie that's been bumped. This movie was going to come out in March. In fact, this past one? It was this coming March. It was slated to come out. And now it is not coming out. It has actually been taken completely off the calendar. So maybe it won't actually come in 2024, which I doubt that will happen. It's Mickey 17. It's the new Bong Joon-ho film. I'm a huge Bong Joon-ho film. I love Korean cinema, especially Bong Joon-ho. And this is Bong Joon-ho working in the sci-fi realm again, where he works fantastic. He's done The Host, he's done Snowpiercer, he's done Okja, he's done Parasite. It's not sci-fi, but that movie is brilliant and weird, and it won Best Picture, and it's an
Movie's amazing.
incredible movie. I was hoping to show Parasite and Snowpiercer ahead of this movie and do like a little Bong Joon-ho retrospective, but it's been stripped from the calendar, so I don't know when it lands. My hope is that they'll pick it back up for fall. This stars Robert Pattinson, so it's another Bong Joon-ho working with English actors, which he always does a great job of blending English actors and Korean actors. This is what he did in Snowpiercer. It's what he did in Okja.
Tilda Swinton?
Tilda Swinton, right? Jake Gyllenhaal in Okja, Stephen Yeun. I mean, awesome cast. But Bong Joon-ho makes his movies are just so they're out there in the best possible way, but it's such deep storytelling, and his visual sensibility as a filmmaker is next to none. I mean, Korean cinema, in my opinion, is some of the best cinema coming out today, like bar none. But Bong Joon-ho is at the top of that pyramid. So anytime I see something new from him, I'm so there. And I hope this one continues to be on the 2024 calendar soon. I'm sure we'll talk about it again later, but that's my last pick. Very excited.
Killer.
I agree with you there on Korean cinema. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I guess it's my turn. I guess my last hope for 2024 for this film.
Last hope? It's January. You're already down to your last hope.
They haven't released the date of this movie coming out. It just says 2024. So.
Not a whole year.
I know.
They're going to drop it in chapters.
This is what happens after a strike. This is normal.
Yeah.
It will land. What is it?
It's the new Maxxxine movie of the X trilogy.
And this movie's been done for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's got to land
because
this
they
year.
Did X and Pearl very one right after another.
Mm-hmm.
But Maxxxine takes place in like 1985. There's a 6-year jump from X to Maxxxine. She's in Hollywood. It's gonna be gory. It's gonna be a mess.
This is considered the X trilogy, right? Or is it considered the Pearl trilogy?
It's considered the X trilogy.
That's what I thought. Okay. That will land. I would imagine that will land late spring.
I think I have more luck of it landing than sadly you do.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
No, Bong Joon-ho is gonna stick the landing.
I hope so.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. It's funny that we both picked movies that are like stripped from the calendar, but they're there. It still says 2024 on the calendar, just not a date.
Yeah, no date.
Lee, what is your last pick for 2024?
Well, my movie actually does have a release date.
Way to rub it in. Okay.
And it is, although I don't have it on hand, we've got Ghostbusters Frozen Empire coming out.
I believe this comes out at the end of March. I think it's the second to last Friday in March. The last Friday of March is the new Kong Godzilla movie.
Oh, man.
I think March 22nd is when this comes out.
That feels right.
Kaiju films.
Ghostbusters, not last year, but the year before. Did Ghostbusters come out in 23?
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Yeah. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Afterlife came out in 22 or 23. Do we remember?
It came out in 22.
22.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was such a, just a good movie. And I know like, oh, cool. Let's listen to this podcast about like film. And oh, here comes producer Lee saying a movie was good again. Oh, great. Yeah. Awesome discourse. But it was so heartfelt, and you could tell that like the source material, like the Ivan Reitman, the writer, loved the source material, and it was such like a love letter to Egon, played by, what was his name? His father?
Harold Ramis.
Thank you.
Yeah, and don't discount yourself on the good and bad movie critique, because let's remember that the pinnacle of movie criticism is Siskel and Ebert, and the hottest of hot takes, a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So good and bad can go a long way.
Yeah.
And did you like, so Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2, then you have the Ghostbusters with Melissa McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that one.
I liked it too.
I thought people were just so ready
People-
to be upset with it.
Yeah, to me that was one of like the first instances I saw where people were like really hating on a movie, and like for gender politics, and
Mm-hmm.
way before seeing the movie in the most ridiculous way.
Yeah, for sure.
But then you had the Ghostbusters Afterlife, where you have, first of all, you have kids. It has like a bit of a Goonies vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You have Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is amazing. I'm a big Paul Rudd fan.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I
How could you
love
not be?
Paul Rudd. In the new one, and then they bring in some of the original Ghostbusters. Bill Murray he has like a short scene in there. But then you have Dan Aykroyd,
Ernie Hudson.
and you spoiler alert, you do have this homage, this ghost of the Egon character coming back, and it's done. It could have been so gimmicky,
Mm-hmm.
but it felt really well done, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the new.
Yeah.
What did you think of the trailer?
It got my heart pumping immediately. Like they're back in the yeah. Oh God, they're back in the firehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Jeannie's back. Like it felt like the Ghostbusters are back. You've got Dan Aykroyd talking about ghosts. You've got Kumail Nanjiani and Patton Oswalt. Like these are people who should be in these films. You know,
They
like
pay
it makes
to be
sense
in
that
them.
they're in.
They would pay to be in.
Oh, I
these
bet.
films.
I bet.
It's like when Simon Pegg was like, I'll be in the new Star Wars movie, J.J. Abrams. I'll wear this costume. I don't care. It's like these people just want to be in this like
Yeah.
paradigm of
One
nerd
quarter
culture.
Samuel L.
portion.
Jackson with the purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it because it was one of the best movie-going experiences I've had in a cinema.
It's
I
a
think
good
like
pick.
when I watched that film, I came out of it that was like, some people watched like, Mission Impossible or Top Gun, and they were like, oh, cinema is back. For me, it was that Ghostbusters Afterlife film.
Yeah.
Like this is what the cinema should feel like. You should leave feeling like you laughed and you cried and you were scared and
you can go to that movie with kids, not like little kids, but like you can take your kids to that movie and enjoy it as a family. And so there's like a universal mentality to that movie
mm-hmm.
where it crosses. I just saw Wonka. It's the same kind of thing. It's like all different ages are going to come see this movie and enjoy it just the same. It's the
Yep.
magic of movies.
I love when movies come out and you're able to be like, okay, I'm going to go see this with like random groups of people.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what says this is a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And you'll be happy to know
Everybody can go.
this week I locked in the booking for that film. So we are opening that film when
Love
it
it.
does come out. I think it's March 22nd. Don't quote me on that, but somewhere around there.
Shows and screen times subject to change.
Yep.
Lots of change.
So 2024 is going to be great. These are all great things that we've talked about. There's so many other things. We didn't even talk really about the great television that's coming out this year. But that's why this podcast exists. We are going to keep touching on all of the great things that come out, talking movies, talking music, talking gaming, talking television, all that and more as we keep going week after week here on Box Office Culture. Misty, it's awesome having you. I hope you will be a regular guest here. And Lee, you have no choice, but you are going to be a regular guest here.
'Tis my lot in life.
Producer Lee
It'll be fun.
is here to stay. He's here to stay.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
for having me.
Again, happy 2024. We're looking forward to it. Stay tuned next week. We'll be talking about more on Box Office Culture.
Thanks for tuning in to the United Theater Podcast Network. If you enjoyed this episode, we encourage you to subscribe to our show so you never miss an episode. And if you could take a moment to leave a review, we'd greatly appreciate it.
Your feedback helps us create content that you love. So hit that subscribe button and leave us a review, and we'll see you on the next episode.